My name is Paul Boyle, and I'm a director and trainer at Albain Institute, Nairobi. I'll tell you what we do. But before that, we've now entered the year 2023. These past 3 years, many of us have really suffered from the COVID, from economic downturns, from political instability in many of the countries where we work as NGO workers. We have really struggled with the loss of loved ones and many difficulties that we have had, the wars, the conflicts, and all of the issues that each one of you have to face every day. Albain Institute, our job is to address all of that. We have worked in 36 countries, especially countries at war, whether it's in Somalia or South Sudan, whether it's in Nigeria, whether it's in Cameroon and many other countries who are in conflict, including Syria and Ukraine. We're there, helping and empowering, motivating people. One of the key areas that we help people to deal with is trauma and stress, but also burnout and breakdown. And you will find that, many workers, many humanitarian workers, you work with the suffering, but you may be suffering. You work with the hopeless, but you may also feel hopeless at times. You see people in pain and it pains you. You see people hurt and it hurts you. We see people in great conflict, and you too may be in conflict. Because if you don't deal with that, it will deal with you. If you don't manage it, it will manage you. If you don't overcome it, it will overwhelm you. And so this is what we do at Albain Institute. We look out for well-being. Do you know what well-being means? Sometimes we have it in our policies as an NGO, humanitarian workers. We have a well-being policy. What does it mean? It's about helping staff be well, be whole, be wholesome, be united, mind, body, and soul. Be happy, be content, be at peace, be functional. Now, how do we get that level of functionality and happiness and contentment? You can't get it by taking a pill. One of the aspects of the work of Albain is also team building. We help teams to unite and be one and become more tolerant of one another. You see, by chance, we may become intolerant. By chance, we may be hurting. But by choice, we can choose to heal. This is why 2023, as a humanitarian worker, is critical for you and for the world. We need to choose to heal from the hurt. But when we are hurt, what do we do with it? We tend to transfer it. You may transfer it onto your loved ones, your family, your community, your nation. But by choice, we need to transform it. How will you transform something bad into something good? We'll tell you, minor shift, major change. We need to change the way we think about self and others. Because if you can change the way you think about self and others, you change the way you feel. And if you can change the way you think and feel, you change the way you act and behave with self and others. And if you can change the way you think and feel and act and behave, you change the way you relate and live with self and others. It all begins with a change of thought, a thought process. And that's where we will get well-being, which will make us be well, feel well, live well, act well. Albain Institute, working all over the world, but the vast majority of our time is spent with humanitarian workers. helping, empowering, motivating, and encouraging. Helping you to have that minor shift and major change. And it reminds me of a story. One of the chiefs I was training in South Sudan once said, "Yesterday I called my wife, she was in another country. For the first time in 25 years I called her sweetheart, and she laughed." He says, "Why are you laughing?" She said, "You have not called me sweetheart in 25 years. What's wrong with you?" He says, "Why don't you tell me what's right with me?" No, there's something wrong. "Are you sick?" He said, "Of course I'm not sick." "Maybe you're dying." "I'm not dying." "Then what's wrong with you?" He said, "Don't tell me what's wrong with me, tell me what's right with me." She said, "Are you having an affair? Have you taken another wife just to disturb me?" He says, "No, what's wrong with you?" He said, "Stop asking me what's wrong with me, ask me what's right with me." And you know what's right with me? Because of my work as a chief, because of the war, because of the conflict, because of dealing with people with HIV and AIDS, living with HIV and AIDS, because of hunger, because of poverty, because of COVID, because of so many things, I became overwhelmed. Instead of dealing with the stress, it started to deal with me. So, Albain Institute came and healed and transformed me. 25 years ago, when the war came to our country, I didn't need these nice words to my loved ones, my love, my darling, my sweetheart, my baby. So all those nice words I buried, I got rid of them, and I became a nasty person and an unkind person and ruthless. But when I went through this program of Albain Institute, minor shift, major change, making sense out of nonsense, I changed and transformed and became empowered. And you know what happened? I found those words that I used to use. And so as he's talking to his wife, he said, "From today, my dear wife, my love, my darling, my sweetheart, my honey, my baby, that's who and how I will be with you." You see, people will never remember what you say, and people will never remember what you do, but people will never forget how you make them feel. As humanitarian workers, you may be feeling down and bad and lousy and depressed, but it's not the end. We are here for you. We have workshops, 5-day workshops, stress management workshops in helping you to deal with breakdown and burnout. We have psychiatrists, psychologists, coaches, physiotherapists, so many people that can help you deal with what you have gone through. Reach out to us at Albain Institute. See our website. Call us. Connect with us, so that you too can go through a minor shift and a major change. And we will help to make sense of any nonsense that you may have ever encountered in your life. Minor shift, major change.